Hello everyone, welcome to your weekly pick a card reading. So this pick a card reading is timeless. It will find you, or trust that it will find you when you need the messages. But for my regular listeners, for those that follow me, this reading is for the week of Monday the 26th of June to Sunday the 3rd of July. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for returning. And if you're new, I hope that you like what you see and it entices you to like, share or subscribe. Let's get started, my friends. Okay everyone, we have pole number 1, pole number 2, pole number 3 and pole number 4. So I'm going with these shells again. Just nature, I think. Pole 1, pole 2, pole 3 and pole 4. So just select a pole that you feel drawn to, that you feel called to, something that, I don't know, just attracts you. Just go with your intuition. Have a guess. Sometimes our guesses are our intuition. That's how our intuition talks to us. Pause the video if you need to. And again, if you're called to select more than one pile, please do that. And know that sometimes as I'm reading one of the piles, I am drawn to say, go and have a look at this pile. And then do that if you too feel called to. So again, pause the video if you need to, just to give yourself time to just see which pile speaks to you the most. And if none do, maybe this reading's not for you, or maybe you just need to trust and just take a guess. Hello, pole number 1. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you this week. So we have the 2 of Swords, the Moon, and the 3 of Swords. Okay, that's interesting. We've got Canary Spirit as your overall energy. Sing your own song. And also you've got Swan Spirit. Time for a deep dive. We have Discover yourself anew. And we have Let your hair down. So this makes a lot of sense. Gosh, pole number 1, look at these colors, how they match, how they correspond. Now, the Oracle and the Tarot here really work together to really paint a picture of this week for you, or how you're feeling at the moment, like what you're going through, pole number 1. The Tarot on its own would have probably led me astray. So of course Spirit would have brought me back on track, of course, but I'm really drawn to say so there's a sense here that I'm looking at the cards and seeing how they work together, and how individually, if I just looked at the Tarot or if I just looked at the Oracle, I would have a very different picture painted. Okay, so putting the channeling aside, the reading would be very, very different. And I think Spirit has brought that to my attention, pole number 1, because there is an aspect of your life that you need to bring things together. If you just look at one aspect, it's going to have a very different outlook, or it's going to have a very different feeling than if you look at the bigger picture altogether. So that's a really interesting message that Spirit is bringing us straight out of the gate. So Spirit's asked me to start the cards, and I think that initial message is actually going to come through even stronger, maybe in what area of your life this might be playing out in, or kind of how, like what you need to be looking at. So we start the overall energy with Canary Spirit, sing your own song. And I feel, without diving into the Swan Spirit, I feel straight away that these energies follow each other. So the Canary Spirit goes through the reading and brings you to the Swan Spirit. And it says, sing your own song. I'm drawn to the 3. Yeah, 3 in numerology is a number of joy. And here we've got the 3 of Swords. What takes away our joy? What brings sadness and despair? Pole number 1, Spirit is asking you to walk your own path. Spirit's asking you to that's interesting. So the earlier message of you, please don't just look at one aspect of something or a tunnel vision towards something. A broader perspective is required in order to actually take in all the information that's out there, or to look at something accurately. Now, so Spirit has just asked me to re-say that, because the message that I've gotten is you need to walk your own path. But I have the feeling that your path, when seen broader, actually encompasses the path of others. So there's this sense, this is quite, please bear with me, pole number 1, because this is going to be quite complicated maybe to explain, so that you can really get a sense what this is. It's like you need to walk your path amongst many paths, because I don't feel that you're going to be going it alone. Things are going to change in your life, yes, because there's a lot that you can't see at the moment. But I think that what you can't see is how your path is intertwined. Oh, thank you, Spirit. Intertwined with those around you. Now, Spirit's saying to me, pole number 1, if you find yourself, like if you're on your own, you're single, maybe for whatever reason, you don't work, or you work on your own, so your interactions with others is limited, or fairly, for want of a better word, insignificant. You might have clients, but they come and go, so it's not people that you see on a regular basis. This still applies to you. Okay, Spirit is saying this still applies to you. So that means the people, your clients, and that will become more important. There's a pathway that you grow together, or your pathway is intertwined with theirs, so you're really being of service, or there's people coming in on their own path, but that you will be able to walk together, but still doing your own thing. And pole number 1, the reason why this is complicated to explain is because this is what you can't see yet. So it sounds a little bit like, well, what am I doing? Am I following others? Am I walking with others? Am I walking alone? And this is the part that is difficult. So Spirit has asked me to come down to the tarot. Okay, so we're going to come back. So you've got the Two of Swords, the Moon, and the Three of Swords. So Spirit's asked me to start with the Moon. So there's an element in what you can't see at the moment that has been orchestrated, has been, what's the word I'm looking for? Orchestrated. Has been put in place by Spirit. I'm just seeing like Spirit has a path laid out for you. Spirit, your soul, the universe, God. For me, they're all interchangeable. You don't see that. I think you feel called. I think you're already on a path. But I feel that Spirit has brought you this, I almost want to say shade, the shadows, the darkness, the unknown, to almost slow you down, but to get you to try to see past. So what I mean by that is when Spirit limits, when the universe, our higher self, our soul, God, limits our view, limits our possibilities, what we can actually do, or what we're actually aware of, sometimes it's to keep us on a true path. And there is an aspect of that in your reading, pole number 1. But sometimes it's always also to get us poking in the shadows to try to find a way, to try and see clearly, which makes us open our perspective and broaden our horizon, see past what is in front of us. And I think with these swords on either side, that's what Spirit's trying to do. It's trying to get you to kind of go, oh, I just can't see the next step in front of me. So when you can't see the next step in front of you, you look a bit here, you look a bit there, a bit here, a bit there. You might go backwards a little bit to get a different perspective again. So it makes us almost hyper vigilant. We're looking for clues, we're looking for opportunities, we're looking, and we're not just head down moving forward because we can see a clear way. And I feel with both these swords, I feel there's something that, with the Two of Swords, there's something definitely that you're not seeing. And this is closed off energy. And I think this closed off energy is being explained by this Three of Swords. So there's past heartache, there's past trauma, if you will, that has you limiting yourself. So Spirit's limiting you and you're limiting yourself. Now, Spirit has asked me to make a point about that. When you limit yourself, when we limit ourselves, it's not for our highest good. It's often fear-based. When Spirit limits us, it is for our higher good. So there's a sense of the need to trust here. There's something that needs to heal. And I feel that it can be something from, 2-3 years ago, but it altered your life quite considerably, or it altered your perspective on life. It might have even altered your opinion of yourself. So there's something that Spirit needs you to go back and heal on a very mental ego level. Because the swords are your mind, they're your intellect, they're your reasoning. And they can also, for me, they can also represent your intuition. And I feel here, like with the swords through the heart, and here, you know, arms crossed over the heart, I feel like your intuition is being blocked. It's been held down because your mind has gone into kind of like the fear mode, that fight or flight mode, where it's being hyper vigilant for all the things that can go wrong, for all the things that you don't want to go through again. But I feel in order to sing your own song, you need to take a deep dive. And this card for me always makes me think of the story of the ugly duckling. You know, the ugly duckling didn't see its self-worth. It didn't see, it compared itself to what was around it. And there was a big lack of understanding. You know, the ugly duckling thought it was a duckling. It didn't realize it was a cygnet. It didn't realize that it was different, like fundamentally different. And so it found itself flawed. And I think this is that aspect that we were talking about earlier, pole number 1, about sing your own song, find your own path. You are on your own path, but you can walk it with others. You know, there's, on a pond, there are many different bird life. You know, there are swans and ducks and geese and, you know, all the swamp birds, the swamp hens, and, you know, all the waterfowls, if you like. They all share the pond, but they're still individual, they're still separate, they still have their unique way about them. Just because they're all on the pond, they don't all become ducks, if you want, for want of a better way of explaining this, pole number 1. And you know, my first impression was this card leads to this card, and I feel to a certain extent they kind of go into each other and then back again. So I feel like they kind of move sides as you progress. So I think there's a sense of this calling that is drawing you in a certain direction. And it brings you to this deep dive of understanding that you have your unique way about you. So it's almost like pole number 1, you're finding yourself in the mindset of the ugly duckling. This is the swan, it's not the cygnet. You've actually blossomed. You've actually changed a lot. And I feel like you're still looking at the you of the old, maybe the you before whatever this trauma was. And this calling is going to get you to deep dive, to see how much you've changed, to see how much you've learned, how much you've grown, how much you've evolved. And suddenly that brings you back to your unique path. And then as you go, I feel more and more, it's almost like this confidence is going to find you. And this deep dive is about looking at what this trauma was. And I'm really getting 2 or 3 years ago. You know, something changed. I mean, gosh, 2, 3 years ago, we were going through quite a bit just in the world, let alone in our individual lives. Now, isn't this interesting? Because look at these colors match, and then these colors match. And you've got here, discover yourself anew. Look inside and rise. Sing your own sing your own song. Discover yourself anew. And that's what this journey is for you, pole number 1. It's actually realizing you are anew. Like you're so different. You've changed. And until we recognize that, and until we implement that in our lives, it's of no use to us. So how you've grown, what you've learned is of no use to you until you implement it. You know, in the kitchen you can have all the latest gadgets. If you don't use them when you're cooking, they're of no service to you. It's that kind of thing. I know that's a very simplistic example, but I think it really explains how we can be surrounded by, you know, intelligence and knowledge and insight, capabilities, talents, gifts. If we don't use it, what point are they? Thank you, Spirit. Spirit's just given me a better example. You know, you've got this magnificent university degree. If you don't do anything with it, it serves nothing. Now, yes, that university degree might make you realize, do you know what? This field is not for me. Again, still the same scenario. If you continue down that path and you don't look at what you've learned, this is not for me, it will be of no use to you. You'll go down a path that's not for you. And I think this is something that Spirit is really guiding you towards, pole number 1, is really getting on that path. And the path that actually suits who you are now. This is about you, pole number 1. 1000% all about you. But there's this aspect here of, I keep getting that your path is intermingled with others. So you're not going to go off on a tangent and find yourself in, well, you might, but not. I'm not getting that feeling in this reading. You're not going to find yourself in the middle of a jungle all on your own, having to survive. It's like your path encounters other paths. And I think that's something that you're discounting here. I think when you feel, or when you think, because you've got the swords here, when you think of going it alone, I've got to walk my path, I think you feel you've got to let everything go. And sometimes, my friends, sometimes that is the case. But we don't know that until we start walking the path. So if you're already frightened of that before you walk the path, you won't walk the path. Because suddenly it's this massive thing, isn't it? And not only the fear of walking the path, but fear of losing everything along the way. Whereas if you can alleviate, I think Spirit is trying to take away the fear of doing it alone, feeling like everything's going to fall away. So all you need to overcome then is the fears that you have of the unknown, the fears that are based in this past trauma that no longer serve you because you're no longer that person. Look inside and rise. This deep dive is also saying, you know, go inside. It's time. This path won't open up for you until you can open up. And then look what happens. This deep dive, this swan spirit, look at the colors, is linked to this. These two cards follow each other. These two cards, I mean, not number wise, mind you, they're both 8s. Isn't that interesting? Both 8s, personal power number, stepping into your power. And we can't step into our power until we know ourselves. But look at this, when you do the deep dive, when you discover yourself, this new self that has emerged that I don't think you're giving energy to, you're not allowing this new you to be the one that makes decisions or steps forward. But when you do, it has let your hair down, and the card says delight in the gift of play. There's going to be, you know, when you let your hair down, there's carefree energy around that, isn't it? Carefree, freedom, letting go. Delight in the gift of play. It'll be fun. I think you're not seeing this journey as fun, pole number 1. I think you're just, I don't know, well, to be fair, you know, Spirit's saying it has blindsided you a little bit with this moon. Like it has kind of, you know, pulled the shades down. So you're kind of like, I can't see what's out there. I can't see the possibilities. Not yet, pole number 1. But they're definitely coming. They're definitely, there's just inner work that needs to be done. And I know that, you know, so many of us hate to hear that, but it's such an important part of our evolution, our growth, our journey. But, you know, like the canary sings, you know, this is beautiful. This path is beautiful. And it's especially for you, who you are right now, or learning. No, sorry, it's not who you're learning to be. I was going to say that, and Spirit said, It's who you are now. You are already a new pole number 1. You just haven't seen it or tapped into it yet, but you will. What a reading, pole number 1. I'm going to leave you with those messages, my friends. Love, light and blessings, pole number 1. See you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, pole number 2. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you this week. So we have the Queen of Wands, we have the 2 of Pentacles, and we have the 9 of Pentacles. Wow, isn't that interesting? After a moment of doubt and a little bit of juggling, success. Beautiful. Oh, and there we go. We have Bee Spirit, sweet results await. And we have Frog Spirit, clear out the clutter. Lovely. Message very, very clear here, my friends. We have explore the hidden you, reveal yourself, and we have face your challenges head on, strength in struggle. Oh, I like this message for you, pole number 2, coming through very, very clear from Spirit. Very, very clear message. So not a lot of hidden messages here. There's not a lot of scope for applying it to however it suits you, though of course do that, but I feel like Spirit's been quite precise here. So actually Spirit's calling me to the tarot, so this is where we're going to start. So we've got your overall energy and then the additional messages. So we start with the Queen of Wands, the 2 of Pentacles and the 9 of Pentacles. And Spirit's saying to me, and this is your energy, pole number 2, you're the Queen of Wands. And there's good energy to be in, brilliant energy to be in. The Wands is the fire. It's your calling, your purpose, your passions, your soul. What gets you fired up? What gets you out of bed in the morning? What's aligned with you? And it can be jobs, people, places, whatever, however this resonates in your life. But this is being in alignment. This is your mind and body on board with your soul's calling. Because she holds the sunflower and she's got sunflowers behind her. And the sunflower moves with the sun. The sunflower can't get up and follow the sun. It can't move, it's planted. But it follows the sun the only way it can, by turning in the direction. And it symbolizes we need to follow our sun. And we do have legs. We can move from spot to spot. So I find the Queen of Wands is that receptive energy, that energy that knows that she will get what she needs in order to follow the sun, in order to keep moving in that direction, in order to stay in alignment with her true self and her soul's goals and purpose. And she knows she'll receive the way. She knows that she will be shown the way. And so there's no struggle. There's no doubt. She highly believes in herself. And for me, this black cat signifies that she also highly believes in what she can't see. To me, this symbolizes the black cat has always been the symbol of a witch, hasn't it? So the occult, the intangible, what we can't see, our beliefs. They're not based on concrete facts. They're what we believe. So this is you. And this is the path that you are on now. Now, then something happens, or something has happened, because sometimes I feel this can be your past, present and future. And in your reading, I'm probably going to read it like that actually, pole number 2. Suddenly you find yourself arming and ahhing, this certainty, this trust, this belief in yourself and something higher than you, the universe, spirit. The believing basically in that we co-create our lives with spirit. We have a part to play and spirit has a part to play. This 2 of Pentacles, I'm just seeing it like doubts. It's almost like 1 minute you're on board and the next minute you're not. 1 minute you're trusting and the next minute you're not. And that is very human. That is, whenever we're on a path, this 2 of Pentacles will always show up somewhere along the way. And I feel there's emotions. Emotions have got something to do with it. And your emotions, I'm not seeing them as your feelings here. Our feelings are our gut feelings. Our feelings that guide us intuitively. Our emotions are not quite the same, or to me, I see them as different. I see emotions as like little lights that come on to show us what could be wrong, or just to kind of get us to look in a certain direction, get us to look at, ooh, have we fallen into fear? Have we fallen into lack? Or into, like I said earlier, the doubts, the maybe comparisons with others. But there's a sense here that there's an emotion that has kicked in pole number 2. And this is the present moment. It's kicked in and it's got you really hesitating. And really kind of, one minute you're on board and the next minute you're not on board. And this emotion, I feel it probably like I'm just feeling annoyed and angry. Like you're probably just looking at it going, oh my gosh, what? No, I'm not gonna buy into that. I'm not gonna feed. And you're kind of suppressing it, and you're almost giving it more fuel because you're adding energy to it. So let's say that the doubts that have come in are that you don't feel good enough. There's others doing this in the field. There's, you know, people that have been doing it longer than you, or something along, let's just use that as an example. And suddenly that's got you feeling like, I'm not good enough. Like I'm just not good enough. But on a real level, remember, you've embraced this energy, so you do know that you are. Deep down, you know that you are, because you've seen it, you've felt it, and you've believed it, and you've trusted in it. So this is just a moment that has unbalanced you, has destabilized you. And so you're going, no. But it's almost like you keep looking at others and keep saying, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So then this is becoming bigger instead of becoming smaller. So what Spirit needs you to do is to clear out the clutter. Frog Spirit. You know, if there's too much clutter, where do you jump? And this Frog Spirit to me always makes me think of the Fool. You know, the Fool has a very tiny like knapsack attached to his Ace of Wands that he's got over his shoulder, and that signifies that he's gotten rid of the baggage that holds him back. Clear out the clutter is that for me in this card. It's, you can't take a leap of faith, you can't take a leap in a new direction when you're burdened down with stuff. And this stuff, because it's the water, is your emotions, it's your, you know, what's inside of you. It's that you know, deep within us kind of thing. So there's a sense here that there's work that needs to be done, and it's not burying it. So the solution is not to buy another shelving unit or another wardrobe, and so you can stuff all the stuff in there and shut the door so it's almost like not there. And Spirit's telling me that's what you're doing at the moment. You're kind of pushing it back, hiding it, shutting a door on it. But there's so much stuff there that the door breaks open sometimes and things spill out, and then you have to kind of force it back in. The only thing is it becomes harder and harder to do that, because every time it spills out, we add to that. So you're adding to that pole number 2. You're adding increased fear. you're adding annoyance or anger. And it's like, oh, damn it, it's that come back again. Oh, got to stop this for once and for all. So there's almost like you become more controlling. Instead of become more letting go, we become more controlling. And so then when we try and shut the door, now we've got annoyance and anger and resentment maybe, and disappointment in ourselves. So can you see how we've got more emotions that we're packing away now? So Spirit's saying, oh, look at this. Explore the hidden you. Oh, and face your challenges head on. Okay, so we're going to this. We're going to jump to these cards because before we get further on. So explore the hidden you. What have you hidden away from yourself that keeps popping out? Reveal yourself. And this is Spirit saying, look at this, is the oranges and the red, the fire sign, the wands. Because you're not really hiding anything from yourself. You're just suppressing it and trying to forget it. If it's out of sight, it'll be out of mind. But just when you least expect it, just as you're starting to forget it, it'll spill open. Or something little will trigger it. And that little trigger that is of no consequence will cause this avalanche of stuff that you've not dealt with. So there's a sense here that you need to go into that wardrobe that you've built inside yourself, that you keep shutting the door on or trying to, where you've got a built up of emotion in there. And identifying the emotions, fine, but it's looking at what has caused them, because I think that's where the interesting aspect of it is. Face your challenges head on, strength in the struggle. So yes, you've got this wardrobe full of emotions that you need to go down and explore. You need to open that wardrobe and go into it and explore. But there's this sense that Spirit's saying to me, don't get too bogged down in how you're feeling. How you're feeling shows you there's a wardrobe you need to go into. There's a door you need to open for the emotions that you've been stuffing away. You've been trying not to look at. And there's a sense here that it's not the emotions that need the attention. It's what's behind the emotions. Because I feel pole number 2, let's go back to the theory that you've been looking around you at other people that are doing what you want to do. Let's say this is starting a new business. So you're looking around at saying, okay, Spirit's actually brought me to something closer to home. Okay, so you want to start a YouTube channel, you want to start card reading. This is just an example, but Spirit wants me to make it quite precise. So you're looking at other YouTubers, and instead of looking at how you bring something different because your energy is different, your belief system's different, it can still be similar to others, but you are different. So your channel will automatically be different because there's you in it. That's why it's so important to be true. You know, to reveal ourselves, to be true to ourselves, to show our true person, our true who we are. Not trying to be others and then try to be better than others. So this is the aspect that is causing you the problem. You've gone in, you're looking at other YouTubers, not for ideas and inspiration, but you're looking at them like, oh my gosh, there's so many of them. What am I going to do? Like, why do I want to do, what am I going to do different? Like, oh, and there'll be a sense that you'll probably look at the ones that are doing really well, and there'll be an aspect of you that almost wants to take on board what they do. You may want to dress like them or speak like them, or I don't know, whatever it is. But there's a sense here that you're not going to follow your sun. You know, suddenly the sunflower's not going to turn towards the sun. It's going to turn towards the cornfield and go, oh, okay then, how can I look more like that? I know that's a silly example, but I think you've got the picture. So there's this sense here, by looking at your emotions, pole number 2, it's actually going to help you to see what you're doing that actually takes you off your unique path, takes you away from your unique self. And that's challenging. But the card's saying that face your challenges head on, and it says strength in the struggle. You know, so trust that it's not an easy path, because it's worth it. If it was an easy path, you know, and sometimes our paths are easy. Sometimes we get from A to B to Z with very little discomfort, with very little lessons, with very little, that's almost the path that just moves us forward to the next stage. What really enables us to grow and to learn are those in-between paths that challenge us. And that's not to say we should walk around trying to find those challenges in order to feel, oh, that's going to make me grow quick, I'm going to make things really hard for myself. No, that then falls into the self-sabotage, doesn't it? But this is almost saying, this is the energy of embrace the path that you're on. Sometimes it'll be easy and sometimes it'll be hard. Both have a benefit. Both are not without their successes. Both are not without their rewards. But you have to face them head on. You have to look at where the clutter is that is causing you to, you know, I mean, can you imagine, you know, a house that's filled with clutter? The floors are covered, you're kind of dancing from one, you know, the likelihood of you tripping over is so much greater, because you're kind of having to, oh, where do I put this foot? I'll put it here, and then I'll put this foot here, and it's a juggle. You might not be juggling things in the air, but you're certainly juggling where you're going to put your feet. Now, you've got the overall energy of Frog Spirit, clear out the clutter, but you've also got the overall energy of Bee Spirit, sweet results await. And golly gosh, do they? The Nine of Pentacles is success and achieved. This is the card of you know, individuality. So it's the card of doing things your way. It's not to say that your way or the highway. It's not to say that you roll over anybody, you know, you run over anybody that's in your way or anything like that. It's not that kind of energy. It's the energy of following your sun. It's the energy of being in alignment with what is. Now, I love that the Bee Spirit's here, because the bee, all the bees have their own job, but they live in massive communities. And each bee is needed in order to make that society work, in order to keep it fed and safe and clean and thriving. So there's an essence here, pole number 2, that you will thrive. You are going to thrive, and those around you will thrive. This goes back to as well that analogy of looking at what others are doing and thinking, oh, there's already too much choice out there. What do I bring? I'm not going to be good enough. People have been doing it for ages. So there's this real sense, I'm really feeling that this is comparing yourself. You're comparing yourself in some way to others. So maybe you feel that you don't look the part. Maybe you don't feel that you are intelligent enough compared to others. Maybe you think, I don't know, my friends, fill in the blank. But this is saying, no. You know, it's not like one bee is, you know, the bees, they have the bees that go out and bring the food back, the nectar back, the pollen back. And then you've got the bees, like the soldier bees, that guard and keep everything safe. You've got the worker bees. So the worker bees are the bees that go and get the pollen. They're also the bees that tend to the hive and to the larvae. You've got the queen bee. Now, one worker bee is not going to go, oh, there's so many other bees. Oh, what am I going to do? You know, you've got to trust that your calling is there for a reason. And that reason is always self-evolution, evolution of our world, and also of being of service. So there's a sense here that trust what you are being guided towards. Trust that it not only benefits you, though Spirit is here to say it really does benefit you. You think all these doubts, with this followed by this 9 of Pentacles, my beautiful pole number 2, your doubts are unfounded. Now, that doesn't make them less powerful. That doesn't mean you can sweep them under the carpet. No, you've got to face them. You've got to explore those hidden aspects of yourself that are creating the doubt and maybe the lack of self-worth. This 9 of Pentacles, she knows her worth. She doesn't compare herself to others because she knows, what is she going to compare, on what level? She knows she's unique. She knows what she brings to the table is unique. Might have been done before, 1,000 million times before, but not by her. Not with her energy and her perspective. And there's abundance here. Sweet results await. Look at the grapes. And these pentacles, 9 of Pentacles. There's fulfillment here, and it's not just fulfillment, it is just success, it's achievement. And you'll be able to look, you know, back and go, wow, look what I've accomplished. Not in an ego way, not in a way that says, oh, I'm better than others, but just in a way that says, wow, I never thought I could achieve this. But once you clear out what's keeping you stuck, once you see what it is that you're doing that is perpetuating that is bringing these emotions of doubt and lack of self-worth, you can stop doing that. Keep moving towards your sun, because the rewards, the abundance, the results are coming. They're yours. There's just some inner work that needs to be done first, pole number 2. I'm going to leave you with those messages, my friends. Love, light and blessings, pole number 2. Take care. See you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, pole number 3. Welcome, my friends. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for us, or for you this week. We have the 6 of Cups, the 3 of Pentacles, and the 6 of Wands. Wow. We have nothing is wasted. So this is your overall energy. Nothing is wasted, and make your dreams real. Wow. We have make your life more interesting, explore the unexpected, and release what isn't working, let go and live beyond. Oh. Wow. Wow. I'm just saying to Spirit, oh my gosh, Spirit, I don't know where to start. This is so exciting. So Spirit is starting me right at the beginning with your overall energy. So we have a vulture spirit. Nothing is wasted. This vulture spirit has just said to me, get this right and make your dreams real is unavoidable. Unavoidable. Okay, so what does nothing is wasted mean? What is this vulture spirit? Vulture spirit makes us aware that nothing happens for nothing. Nothing is for nothing. So if you've been telling yourself, pole number 3, well, I did all that for nothing, nothing is wasted. Nothing is ever for nothing. Nothing is ever to just fill in time. Now, Spirit's just put a television in front of me. And you know what? Watching TV is possibly unproductive. A lot of people would agree with that. But that's sometimes how Spirit brings us messages. That's also sometimes how we realize that we're procrastinating, or that we don't want to do something, or that we need time out. We need to think of something else, or not think at all. So can you see how something as simple as watching TV, that we would all consider a waste of time, or something definitely to do in downtime, can actually be so productive if we are aware? Now, we can look at a vulture and think, oh, horrible beast. You know, it doesn't even kill its prey, it just eats other people's prey, or it just eats what's dead. But can you imagine if we didn't have, you know, vultures or all these animals that clean our world, if you like? You know, it takes a carcass a long time to break down. And in the heat, I'm in Australia, so, you know, in the middle of summer, you know, when there's a kangaroo that's on this, you know, being hit by a car on the side of the road, and you're waiting for it to decompose, it's not nice. And, you know, we have the crows that do the vultures' work, and people hate crows, but I think, wow, if it wasn't for them, can you imagine the state of things? So everything has a purpose. Everything in our life, every person, in every event, everything that we don't even notice. Nothing is wasted. No journey is for nothing. You might, and sometimes this is hard to see, pole number 3, you might be coming out, you might be going through a divorce at the moment, and you were married for 30 years and you think, oh, what a waste. But can you truthfully, honestly say that? If you have children, hopefully not. What about the experiences that you shared? Okay, now you're in pain, of course. You're not thinking of the good things. You're thinking of the years that you gave to something that didn't work out. But I think as well, that's our perception of longevity shows success. Well, I'm somebody that doesn't believe in that. If it is good, if it still is aligned with us, beautiful. But if it's no longer aligned with us, longevity means nothing. It just shows our inability to move forward. Now, I'm not saying that's what you're doing, pole number 3. It could have been a beautiful marriage for 29 years. But see, then you can't say it's wasted. You can't say that was time lost. Oh, I gave my best years to that relationship. That is a grieving process, so we need to honor how we feel. That's something that Spirit is saying very clearly. We must always honor how we feel. But we can't lose sight with the fact that there is a reason behind everything. There is, when we understand it. And often it's hindsight that brings that to us. Make your dreams real. Now, this is telling me where you were, or whatever this you feel has been a waste. It'll be different for all of you, pole number 3. Without that leaving your life, going away, this would be impossible. A spider remakes its web, not nightly, but, almost every so many days. And the more damaged the web is, the more often they'll rebuild it. Now, I don't know if you've ever sat and watched a spider weave its web. It's fascinating, and it's a lot of work. And it might go, oh, I made my web yesterday. What a waste. I'm doing it all over again. No, he knows that a well-constructed web, one that doesn't have too many holes in it, is more likely to catch prey. And we need to start to view our life like that. The more holes something has, and that's a metaphorical kind of image for you to say, the more something doesn't resonate with us anymore, the less benefit it's going to be. Staying with a job or in a relationship or on a path that no longer fulfills us is so detrimental to us. And that's why we say things like that are soul destroying, because they slowly shut us down. At first there might be anger, there'll be emotion, there'll be to try and get us to see, okay, what's going on here? I'm so unhappy. But then if you keep going with that, that will eventually turn to just, what's the word I'm looking for, Spirit? Despondence? Thank you. I think that's the word, despondence. It leads to, whatever. And you don't care. You could do well in your job, you could not do well in your job. You won't go for the pay rise because you're not interested, you don't want to do the extra work. So your work suffers. Same with a relationship. You know, suddenly you're not trying. And it's not that we need to try all the time, but we do need, it's the energy that we're putting into it. What energy are you putting into something? Because you can't put a certain level of energy into something and expect different energy to come back to you. So if you're putting energy of, oh, whatever, I'm just here because this is what I do, how can you expect love and joy and dreams to come true out of that energy? And I feel really interestingly with the tarot. Now these cards are good cards. But with these Six of Cups, Spirit's showing me that where you are now, and the reason why you're probably feeling a bit like, ugh, what's the point? What was it all worth? Why did I even bother? I'm really feeling that kind of energy. I'm sorry, pole number 3. It's something that you've been doing for a while. It's something that meant a lot to you, but a while ago. It's also something that, like I'm looking at the children here, I feel it's something that's become a duty. So you're staying in that relationship for the children. You're staying in that job because you don't want to let your boss down or your colleagues down. You're staying with those group of friends because, well, we've been friends forever and I don't want to hurt their feelings. There's this sense of sacrificing yourself for others. But Spirit's coming back to the message of when we do that, other people feel it. I don't know if you've ever been at the receiving end of somebody doing something for you, and you kind of said thank you, but it felt a bit icky. It felt a bit wrong. It felt a bit like you're like, oh, what am I trying? How am I trying to say this, Spirit? What am I trying to? Yeah, okay. Well, I was holding back because I didn't really want to say it, but it kind of makes you feel like you have to be extra thankful and you have to be extra appreciative and things like that. I don't know if you've ever been in that situation, pole number 3, but that's when something's given out of duty. Something's been done for you, but out of, oh, if I do this, then you know, I'm a good friend, or I'm a, you know, and what the person's done for you is nice, but there's this energy behind it that feels like they're almost going to make you pay for it, or it hasn't been done with an open heart, with grace and love. There's something underlying behind it. You can't quite put your finger on it. That's what you're doing, pole number 3. When you self-sacrifice yourself in order to try, because you don't know what's going to make the others happier. So you're guessing as to what's going to make them happy, and then you're trying to go with that. Because your energy is not coming from a place of just pure love and joy. I want to be here. It's like, well, I'm happy to do this because I have to be here. It's not the same as I'm happy to do this because I want to be here. I want to do this. Very, very different energies. And don't think that others don't pick up on it, because they do. They won't maybe be able to put their finger on why they're feeling like that. And then they will feel guilty that they're not as appreciative of you as they should be. And then what do we have? We have this mess of duty and guilt. And that breeds resentment. It's not a nice mix, pole number 3. So Spirit's saying there's been something that you've been doing for a while. And Spirit wants you to come back and look at that. Now this can be in different aspects of your life. It can just be your life your life in general. Maybe how you interact with others, how you give to others. But there's a sense here of needing to reevaluate. This craftsman, he's got the builder and the client there. And the architect and the client there, and he's the builder. So the builder can't just build whatever he wants. He's got architectural plans to follow, and he's got a client's desires. So there's always a sense that there is, I guess what Spirit's saying is a lack of freedom sometimes to do what we choose, what we want. But this builder doesn't have to be a builder. So can you see that this builder, if he doesn't want to be there, the extra constraints that are put on him are real burdensome. Like they weigh on him. But in this card, he's up on a bench here. They're looking up to him. He wants to be there. This is his passion. He wants to see the client's dream, the architect's drawings come to life by his hands. Isn't that magic? Isn't that make your dreams real? He's making his dream real by doing his calling. He wants to be a builder. He wants to master that. He wants to be the best at that. And at the same time, doesn't he fulfill their dreams? He's built, this is a church, but let's say it's a house. He's built the client's dream home. And he's brought the architect's drawing to life, to the 3D. Isn't that amazing? But that only works when all 3 are in alignment. If this client has been, I'm gonna build a 4x2 because I've got kids that are gonna go in there, and I want it to look good next to the neighbour's house, and I want it. Okay, some of those are real constraints that he's got to work around when he's picturing his dream home. But if he compromises too much, then suddenly it's not his dream home. So even though the architect draws this magnificent house and the builder is able to build it, he's going to look at it and go, oh yeah, it's good. He'll then need validation from others who come and have a look at the house and go, oh, this is amazing. Same thing goes for the architect. If he doesn't want to do the drawings, he's going to probably place a lot of constraints on the client. Oh no, we can't do this and we can't do that, because he can't be bothered figuring it out. And then when he sees the house being built, his drawings come to life, he's going to be like, oh yeah. That's why we can't never stay in something too long. I don't know, that I just got those words. Don't be afraid to change. Don't be afraid to follow what really makes you happy, pole number 3. Because look at this, when this is in alignment, and you know what? These people are not of your concern. It's just showing how any one of them can be out of alignment. But you, what you're doing, just make sure that's in alignment. And then you've got ultimate success. You've got moving forward in a way that is triumphant and successful. This is a soldier that's come from war. Now, the war was not nice. The war is not nice. He's probably been hurt. He's probably lost friends. He's probably seen terrible things, been through terrible things. But he's here triumphant. But he's only here triumphant because the war ended. If he stays in the war, he's not triumphant. It's still going. It's a really good image, really clear image that I'm getting with these cards. You will be successful, pole number 3. You're going to actually make your dreams come true. And I feel with this 3 of Pentacles, the dreams of others. This is happiness. This is contentment. This is childlike wonder at life. Which means there's passion in it again. There's curiosity. And look at this. Make your life more interesting. Explore the unexpected. There's things that need to change in your life, pole number 3. And I know that's not an easy thing to bring about. I know that's not an easy thing to hear. And it fills us with dread and fear and, you know, sadness and pain. But spirit couldn't be any clearer, my friends. And I'm sorry for what you're going through or for what you've been through, but it hasn't been for nothing. Make your life more interesting. This is what spirit is bringing you. This is what you're walking towards. Explore the unexpected. It's time for change, my friends. And couldn't be any clearer with the following card. Look at this. Release what isn't working. Let go and live beyond. Make your life more interesting. Explore the unexpected. What are the chances? Spirit doesn't want you to stay where you are. Spirit never wants us to be. Actually, Spirit just said to me, I never want you to give up on life. I never want you to give up on yourself. And when we settle, pole number 3, we do. And we've all been there. We've all settled. And for years and years sometimes. And then the inevitable happens. And then years after that we think, gosh, why did I hold on for so long? Why did I do that? It's part of being human, my friends. It really is. But Spirit's saying, please, please, my friends, no more. Make your life more interesting. Release what isn't working. The minute you can release what's not working, you'll get your taste for life back. You'll get your oomph, your vava voom back. Explore the unexpected. Let go and live beyond what you know, beyond what is your life at the moment. Gosh, these cards are magnificent. There's a lot ahead of you, and I don't care how old you are, pole number 3. There's more in front of you that make your life interesting again, makes you want to explore, brings that childlike curiosity. Oh my goodness, what's around the corner? live beyond, let go and live beyond, explore the unexpected. And I think you're going to find this joy again and success. You've got spider spirit here. Make your dreams real. And what you were letting go of, or what you've already let go of, pole number 3, hasn't been for nothing. Please, my friends, trust that. It hasn't been for nothing. I'm going to leave you with those messages, pole number 3. Love, light and blessings, my friends. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, pole number 4. Welcome, my friends. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you this week. So we have the 10 of Wands, the Page of Swords and the Fool. Oh, yes. I must admit, I love this lineup of cards very, very much. Very, very nice. Oh, of course, you see clearly now as an overall energy, and there is always enough. That's the other overall energy. We have express your hidden feelings, celebrate your light, and we have enhance your intimate relationships, deeper connections await. Wow, wow, pole number 4, what a way to finish this pick a card for this week. Wow. Okay, my friends. Oh, look at these colors. Wow. Oh, I feel so excited. So, okay, no, Spirit's telling me to calm down. But in a very kind way. So no, Spirit has asked me to focus. I'm going to go to the tarot first. We'll come back to the overall energy. So you've got the 10 of Wands, the Page of Swords and the Fool. Now, you've been working hard at something, pole number 4. I feel that there's something that you've been trying to move forward with. There's something that you've been trying to achieve. There's something that you've been trying to bring about in your life. And it's been burdensome, and it's been, I feel, labor intensive. It's taken a lot of your time, a lot of your energy. And I feel that some of you are probably feeling a little bit worn out, and maybe a little bit on the cusp, on the verge of saying, I'm going to give up. And it's possibly not exactly I'm going to give up. It might be more like, okay, I've got to let this go because I've put in the energy, I've put in the time, I've put in all that I could, and I'm not really seeing anything. And so maybe this is just one of those paths that isn't going anywhere. Now, Spirit's telling me the only reason, like, he's coming into town where he'll be able to drop his burden and be paid for his wands. But at this point, he's kind of like, oh God, I don't know if I'm going to make it there. Or he can't even see how far away the town is because he's got all this blocking his way. He's kind of head down and just trying to keep going. And so there's a sense that pole number 4, where you find yourself right now, you can't see where this is going. You can't see what's just up ahead. So there's an aspect here of you just need to trust. It literally is only trust that is going to get you to the end. It's going to get you past this feeling that maybe this is not for me. Maybe this is not my dream. Maybe this is not what I was supposed to be doing. And with the Page of Swords, look at this Page of Swords looking back at the Ten of Wands. This Page of Swords has just accepted the Ace of Swords, and it's clarity. It's an aha moment. It's a new idea. And the page doesn't know quite what to do with it. But it's almost looking back at this Ten of Wands and going, yes. He's lighter. He can swing his sword around. There's a sense of freedom with his hair flying in the wind. And I feel that this Page of Swords sees in his limited perspective, because the pages are very young, they're new, it's new. It's like this Page of Swords doesn't quite know what to do with this idea. But one thing that it does know is this was a benefit. This was worth it. I am on this right path. And I feel Spirit saying, pole number 4, there's just a tweak in the path. This is going to get you to your next checkpoint. This has shown your dedication. Maybe it's had people take notice of you. Maybe it was to show you, gee, I can really accomplish things. I can really stick with things even when I'm being challenged. I am dedicated. I do have a love for what I'm doing because it carries me through the times of, I want to say, lack or dry spells or moments of difficulty. And this page, even in this new possibility sprouting, it can see the benefit of the past journey. And you will see that too. You've got our Spirit here, you see clearly, and you've got the Page of Swords. This is new ideas, this is new downloads. And then you've got the Fool that enables you to take that leap of faith, and that leap into the unknown. Both these cards are looking at this Ten of Wands, and I really want you to take into account, pole number 4, that without this journey, without these obstacles, without your determination, your strength, because it wasn't stubbornness, it wasn't you were doing this come hell or high water even if it felt wrong. No, it felt right. It felt so right that you couldn't not follow it, not do it. This is almost like your future self, though this could probably be seen as the present, or just a little bit beyond the presence. Mind you, it says you see clearly now, so maybe it's this week, pole number 4. This is when you're going to have that aha moment, a download, an idea. Somebody says something and you just go, what? Oh my gosh, why didn't I think of that? And I feel that the Fool is here to say there's going to be like a change. Because the Fool is this leap of faith that starts the Fool on his whole new journey. The Page is the very start of the journey of the Ace, of the Court cards. And there's this sense here that there's this real, both cards signify new beginning, very, very much so. And this is major arcana. This is how spirit, the part that spirit plays in co-creating our world, and this is the part that we play. Both are coming together. So this is not only you, spirit's helping you, spirit's showing you where that leap of faith is what it is. There's clarity. You see clearly now. You see clearly now. And look at that. You know, I was going to say maybe in the near future, but no, do you know, more and more I'm getting, no, this is this week, pole number 4. Because you see clearly now, and really this Page of Swords is in the present, past, present, future. I don't always see it like that, but I do in your reading this week, pole number 4. And this owl has got the crown. So this is wisdom, because an owl is always depicted as wise, but it can be knowledge, and it can be intellect as well. Same with the swords. But this owl with its crown on its head, it's wisdom, it's wise. It understands things beyond. Wisdom is not the same as intelligence. Intelligence is we could really say intelligence is accumulated knowledge and the ability to understand the knowledge that we have accumulated. So knowledge is the accumulation of information. Intellect is the ability to understand that, and wisdom is higher up again. So wisdom is almost understanding, having the knowledge and the intellect to know that there's so much you don't know, so much you'll never know. Very interesting. And this is connected with the crown on his head. That's your crown chakra. And this, I feel like it's going to be a download. I just feel it's going to be like a really aha moment, like a real moment of just, I love that this owl is white. Just like this light's just going to fall on your head. It's like somebody's going to turn on the light and you're going to think, oh, how did I never see that before? Or maybe, how did I not understand that? Sometimes it's just purely, wisdom can just be purely opening up to different perspectives. Wisdom comes from being connected, mind, body and soul, you know, indefinitely mind and soul, though our body has an intellect as well. You know, our body has knowledge that it stores as well. So it's the real wisdom is the connection of the three. And you have koi fish spirit. There is always enough. And I think this is something that's going to come through. It's like, I don't need to cling. I don't need to. You will be striving, but it's going to be based on wisdom, not fears. You know, sometimes we can strive and cling out of fear. You know, we can just go, I've got to do it, I've got to do it. And that's not what you've been doing. I feel like you've been striving out of the love for it, out of this soul calling. It is just something that was stronger than you, that you just needed to see, where is this going? And I feel like, you know, with the Ten of Swords, it's becoming a burden. It's getting harder and harder. But Spirit is saying, don't worry about that. There's always enough. And I feel this card also with the koi. You know, I'm feeling it. I'm just seeing this, you know, gracefully swimming in a pond. And I'm really feeling that things are getting easier. things are getting easier, pole number 4. It won't, the next stage, this leap of faith, although it's going to probably be a little bit scary. Having said that though, I think you see so clearly, I think you can understand, even though you can't, that it's a leap of faith, so you don't know where you're going to land. That's the whole thing of the Fool, is there's no certainty behind anything with the Fool. There is just literally blind trust and a genuine leap of faith. But I feel that you're so in alignment. And I don't feel that you'll you'll have fears, of course you will, of course you will. That's the human aspect of yourself. But I feel that very quickly, it's not that you're going to push them away or squash them, but I think you're just going to have this understanding of, yes, I'm taking a leap of faith. Of course I'm supposed to be scared. But it's so strong and I trust so much, I'm going to do it anyway. And that's what bravery is, isn't it? It's feeling the fear and doing it anyway. Understanding that it's normal to have the fears there, but not allowing them to get hold of our mind and block us in any way. This is truly beautiful, because there's this sense here of being on your path. Even though it may not feel like it yet, I think this leap of faith, this Fool, puts you right on your path, and you've got this you've got this clarity, you've got this understanding, you've got the past experience that has brought you not only the knowledge and the intelligence behind it, but the wisdom to actually take this leap of faith and make it count for something. You've got to express your hidden feelings, celebrate your light. And you know, pole number 4, this is a message from Spirit for you to say, be chuffed with yourself. Be proud of yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back. Allow yourself to feel love for yourself, to feel your connection with your mind, body and soul, because you're in alignment. Your hard work has brought you here. You haven't been lucky. It wasn't a fluke. You brought this about. It's you. We co-create with Spirit, and Spirit's always there to help us. But if we don't listen, Spirit will get louder and louder. That's what the tower is. But Spirit will try to wake us up. And you've done that in the past. You've learned from that, and you're really embracing you. And express your hidden feelings. Feelings are not the same as emotions. Well, not to me anyway. So when I see feelings, feelings are our soul. Feelings are our intuition. Feelings are those little nudges. We just get a feeling about something. There's probably nothing logical behind it, but we've got a feeling. And I think Spirit's saying express those hidden feelings. When you feel like, this is like all your chakras. And this is expressing them. Express the power and the passion and the drive and the action of your lower chakras. Express the longings and the desires of your heart, the middle chakra. And express the ideas, the words of your higher chakras. And that's what true balance is, when we can express and embody the energies of the different chakras. Celebrate your light. That's how you celebrate you. One of my quotes that I love so much is, always shine your inner light, because it's the beacon for your soul tribe and the abundance of life to find you. This is not hiding behind masks, pretending to be what you're not. This is shining your inner light. And that is like a magnet for things that are meant for you. When we put masks on, when we pretend to be something else, we're still a magnet. We'll still attract things to us, but then we wonder why we're not attracting the things that we want, that are truly aligned with us. It's because we're pretending. This is you shining your light, and you're attracting what is meant for you into your life. And for some of you, it's relationships. Now, this says enhance your intimate relationships, deeper connections await. And if you are looking for love, this is love, my friends. This is the partner that you are deeply connected to. Deeper connections await. You shining your light's not only going to bring the new to you, because we've got a 5 here, and that's all about change, surprises, but you're actually going to deeper develop what is already there. Now, sometimes that can mean, when we shine our light, the people and the things that came into our life that weren't meant for us will just fall away. But the things that did come in, that maybe could not be going so well because we've been pretending, when we stop pretending, when we embrace our true selves, when we shine our inner light, those relationships, suddenly the connection increases, the connection deepens. And this can be romantic love, it can be partnerships in work, colleagues, family, friends, neighbours, community, the wider world. But this is enhancing it. And you know, pole number 4, Spirit saying, you don't need to do anything different. You don't need to go out and do anything. You just need to shine your light. Celebrate your light. Oh my gosh, pole number 4. What a reading, my friends. This is really beautiful, really beautiful. I'm going to leave you with those messages, pole number 4. Love, light and blessings to you. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.